Hey guys, thank you for watching. Ivan Blasquez here. So what I'm going to do is just introduce this video here. I've got 4 slides that I'm going to be basically talking through, okay? Make sure you have your audio on, whether you're plugged in or if you're listening to it from your phone or whether it be from your computer, because you know, I'm going to be talking through these diagrams that are going to follow. So without any further ado, check it out and enjoy. Hey you guys, thank you for watching. First off, check out my last video, plant proteins versus animal proteins and which is better for getting a six-pack. I alluded to some health effects of animal proteins, and so I want you to look at these diagrams or these illustrations with me. So this is kind of I found these studies, and you know, I do a lot of research, and what's fascinating is in this first illustration here, again, I talk about systemic signaling, and look guys, I know that, you know, whey protein has been found to be perfectly fine, milk consumption in moderation, but at the same time, to turn a blind eye to evidence out there that says the contrary is being irresponsible. And I think a lot of people out there who promote dairy and whey protein to build muscle, and they turn a blind eye to these studies that are kind of, you know, just starting to peel back some of the layers and really kind of reveal some fascinating different positions of opinion. I think it's irresponsible to turn a blind eye to it. Now, I'm not turning a blind eye to it. This is what this video will illustrate. It's going to illustrate the other side of whey protein and this whole concept of systemic signaling that I've been talking about. Now, what's mind-blowing is I only have 7,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and what I'm talking about here is something that will probably be perhaps talked about years from now, but I'm talking about it now, in 2017. So in other words, kind of like on the cusp, or cutting edge, really, if you will. Anyway, enough of that rant. But it's true, though. I should have way more subs because I'm talking about stuff that's really kind of on the forefront. And if I'm wrong, there's nothing wrong with being wrong, quite frankly, because at the end of the day, whether we consume whey protein or not, or dairy protein or not, is a personal choice. And it's not like health will be diminished by avoiding dairy. In fact, it's actually been shown to be quite the opposite, and not just from a scientific sense, but also from common sense and anecdotal evidence. Anyhow, let me just go right into this first illustration. So we have leucine and glutamine, which are derived from whey protein that have been shown to increase serum insulin. Okay, this is in reference to this first diagram here we're looking at. So milk casein increases serum IGF-1, and leucine, insulin, and IGF-1 stimulate mTOR, okay? I'm just going to leave that for short. It's a technical term that has to do with the anabolic response in the body, okay? And this kind of deals with the systemic signaling that I've been mentioning, okay? So milk consumption is associated with placental weight gain. And so basically, you know, that's the anabolic side of it. It's not just building muscle. It builds fat too. It could build other tissues. It's an anabolic signaling systemic response, okay? The body works in signals. It's not just let me build muscle and fat's not going to get built up. The body doesn't work in exclusivity like that. It's systemic, which is why I like to have homeostasis is not about one signal all the time. It's about a balance of signals. So you have some good signals, some bad signals, some neutral signals, and so forth. And the balance, you want it to tip in favor of a positive homeostatic signaling response, okay? And so if we overdrive that anabolic response, we're going to also be overdriving those caveats, okay, such as increasing in fat size, and quite frankly, in this video, you'll see the cancer connection that's been implicated in this overly anabolic response, okay? Building muscle is important, but that's why I have this tri-bodybuilding group and this whole concurrent training concept of that. We want to build muscle, but we also want to keep fat at bay or really reduce fat, or keep ourselves lean and build muscle at the same time, okay? Everyone's different, personal choice, I get that, but I'm looking at this from a comprehensive long-term perspective. So let me go right back into this, guys. So milk-mediated mTOR signaling has also been found to induce insulin resistance, enhancing the glucose gradient to the fetus. So all of that is basically what this diagram is illustrating here, okay? I'm just kind of simplifying it. But as you can see, the bottom here, it says mTOR, fetal mTOR overactivation. And you can see the branched-chain amino acids are connected to that as well. They're potent at stimulating an anabolic response. So perhaps the bodybuilding community had it all wrong. Yes, branched chain amino acids are important, but dumping those branched chain BCAAs in our body as well as whey protein to build muscle, we also may be blowing up the caveats as well. All right, guys, so before I discuss the second illustration, I'm going to preface it with some of the abstract. And also, that first slide, guys, if you look at the bottom of the video in the video description, the study that graph was based on is down below for your luxury to view. Anyhow, let me summarize the abstract for this second illustration, which is going to also connect with the next three illustrations. First off, this review provides evidence that prostate cancer initiation and progression are promoted by cow's milk, but not human milk. Stimulation of mTOR signaling. Here we go again with the mTOR signaling, okay? You can see the connection here. Now, what's fascinating is, anecdotally speaking, and people can say vegans are biased, and I understand that. We are, but at the same time, it's important to kind of have an open mind to all of the evidence that's out there. And this is really fascinating evidence, guys. Anecdotally, it's been said that cow's milk is designed for a cow, not humans, right? Well, here's a research study that has basically stated that and now is supporting it with actual evidence, okay? So it says, mammalian milk is presented as an endocrine signaling system which activates mTOR, promotes cell growth, proliferation, and suppresses autophagy. I probably pronounced that wrong, autophagy. Anyway, autophagy is this really cool term that's been coming up in intermittent fasting circles, guys. It's kind of a catabolic pathway. Again, we can override the catabolic pathway, but there's a lot of benefits to being catabolic, okay? We break down body fat. Autophagy is kind of like the body's recycling of cells and so forth. It kind of bolsters repair and those kinds of things. So moving along. However, persistent consumption of cow's milk proteins in humans provide highly insulinotropic, that means highly insulin-inducing or insulinogenic, branched-chain amino acids provided by milk's fast hydrolysable whey proteins, which elevate postprandial plasma levels and increase hepatic IGF-1 concentrations by casein-derived amino acids. Branched-chain amino acids, insulin, and IGF-1 are pivotal activating signals for mTOR. So increased cow's milk protein-mediated mTOR signaling along with constant exposure to commercial cow's milk estrogens derived from pregnant cows may explain the observed association between high dairy consumption and increased risk of prostate cancer in westernized societies. All right, guys, so I'm going to go into this illustration. So what this is basically it's a synopsis of major pathways activating mTOR. Okay, mTOR is activated by leucine, insulin, IGF-1, and glucose. So as we can see here, guys, these are 4 anabolic substances. Leucine, which is the chief, a branched-chain amino acid that's like basically the key regulator of protein synthesis. It's the branched-chain amino acid that's like the most anabolic. Then you have insulin, which is obviously the most anabolic hormone. IGF-1, once again, anabolic. And glucose, which is anabolic. Again, glucose that comes from fruit and vegetables and grains. Again, guys, this is buffered by the fiber and the polyphenol content in those foods. Again, it's a cascade of signals. It's not just sugar that comes from fruit. It's the package that the sugar comes within. And it's really the end reaction or the end product of those cascade of signals, okay? Milk, guys, dairy milk is an overly anabolic food. It doesn't have fiber. It's high in protein. And if you get regular milk or even reduced fat milk, it's going to have the fat as well. The dairy fat, which kind of basically amplifies that anabolic response. All right, so let's move along to this third illustration. All right, this is a fascinating illustration, guys. This is the same study. So as you can see, the signaling of human milk and physiological prostate morphogenesis. On the left-hand side, you can see the physiological low protein and leucine content of human milk. So you have normal function. You have a normal scenario there. Now, if you look on the right-hand side, you can see excessive cow's milk signaling in the infant formula feeding, disturbing regular prostate morphogenesis, resulting in long-term adverse effects promoting tumorigenesis. Again, guys, this is a model here that's kind of, we still need more research, of course. But again, I certainly This is alarming, and it certainly makes me not want to turn a blind eye to it, quite frankly. So this is a fascinating graph here. You have on the left a low protein, low leucine content, and you're getting adequate nourishment and nutrition, human milk. And then you have on the right-hand side the cow's milk. You're getting excessive anabolism, guys. Increased mTOR, the insulin, the leucine, IGF-1. You see it, right? This is what I'm talking about when I refer systemic signaling, okay? Now moving along to the fourth illustration. This is the last one. So the boosting effects of cow's milk consumption on prostate cancer associated high mTOR signaling. As you can see, this is basically saying the same thing I said before, okay? So in conclusion, in this context, it is of serious concern that increasing numbers of adolescents and young men consume 60 to 80 grams of highly insulinotropic whey protein concentrates daily to gain muscle mass. Thus, future dietary studies should clarify the impact of increased cow's milk protein upon early steps of prostate morphogenesis and differentiation. It will become important in future experimental work to define safe upper limits for long-term milk and dairy intake for the prevention of the most common dairy-promoted cancer in men. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this presentation was very educational for you and informational. Feel free to drop questions below, guys. Leave comments. Again, I find these two studies very fascinating. They're very revealing. Again, is it definitive? Of course not. We need more studies. But at the same time, I think too often whey protein and this muscle building kind of mania, if you will, which look, I love building muscle. I love building muscle. But I want to have a homeostatic muscle building response. What I mean by that is I want to stay lean too. I don't want to just build muscle. You know what I mean? So I have these parameters. I have these goals as a certified personal trainer, master's degree, exercise physiologist, okay? I have these goals where I want to keep my waist at a healthy level, okay? Keep belly fat down, optimize health, and yes, I want to build muscle. I want to prevent sarcopenia. I want to improve, my body's glucose, homeostasis, if you will. Of course, I want to do all these things. So again, getting overly muscular, getting overly anabolic at the expense of, the catabolic pathways like autophagy and fat loss and those kinds of things, I think that it's just, we could be kind of, creating some caveats that have been mentioned in this video. So that's why I have this focus on systemic signaling, okay? It depends on metabolic status, where we are, and how we approach our goals. This is cutting edge stuff, in my opinion, quite frankly. And I don't think there's really any other videos out there that even, maybe there are, but that even touch on this. Okay, it's either just build muscle or lose fat. And the ones who talk about build muscle and lose fat at the same time, it's just a bunch of like hearsay, anecdotal stuff from personal experience. I've got science to back up what I'm saying, like actual science and anecdotal evidence. I'm living this stuff. I'm doing it on a daily basis. I know how to build muscle and stay lean at the same time. It's about signaling, guys. It's deeper than just, building muscle and burning fat. It's homeostasis. In other words, it's kind of like in a constant state of flux. It's never going to be just a straight line, build muscle, lose fat. It's kind of like, there's like these two waves are kind of like going up and around over each other, and we have to try and find balance within those. So I like to get the benefits of both being anabolic and catabolic, okay? Of course, the caveat with being catabolic is we lose muscle, but again, we can buffer that by being concurrent in how we do things, which is why I'm a big proponent of concurrent training, why me and my friend Evan, we started the group Try Bodybuilding, because we like to do both. And quite frankly, not just both from a standpoint of being kind of free to do both, but the fact that from a fat loss perspective and from a health perspective, it's actually quite good. So thank you guys, again, thanks for watching, and tune in next time.